This is the Sunny Side Up Podcast.
Join me in the sunshine.
Hey, I'm Alan.
It's Angel.
And I'm Brandon. Welcome to the Sunny Side Up Podcast, episode number 4.
Yeah. Today we're going to be talking about millennials versus Gen Xers and then those really older people and the American dream. That's going to be kind of cool.
Yeah.
It may take up the whole conversation, honestly.
Well, let's go for it then. So,
Fortnite and Minecraft. I hear that's a big thing right now.
it is. Yeah. So well, I guess we'll start with the Fortnite
Sure.
Minecraft
Yeah.
sort of deal.
So the kid doing the Fortnite
Mhm.
winning $16 million playing a video.
16 million?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, 3 million. I'm
3
sorry,
million.
16-year-old
I was gonna say
guy.
I don't know if it was 16 million.
That's what I get for trying to actually trying
Read,
to memorize the
comprehend,
script.
read.
Yeah.
Should
16-year-old
do that.
wins $3 million playing a video
That's still a
game.
lot of money.
That's absolutely
for
nuts.
winning a game.
So, I mean, because his dad encouraged him to play video games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, I'm not good at Fortnite.
Yeah.
Not at all. So I'm not good at Fortnite at all. And props to him. So, because there's a lot
Yeah.
of professional, quote unquote, players out there. And I don't know how you become a professional player at a video game, but I guess I'd call myself a professional at certain games.
A professional
Does it mean hours wise or what?
No, do you get paid to play video games?
I wish.
Then you're not a professional video
Yep.
game player.
Yeah.
That's it. If you get paid for something, it
And
makes
you're
you a
not
professional.
going to competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Because
So-
I would probably, well, you know what? Guitar Hero. I could have done it in Guitar Hero.
But you didn't.
Pretty easily, though. I
But
think
he-
you remember that.
But Brandon, you didn't.
But I know.
So
But
you're
you
not
could've.
professional.
But I still can because Guitar Hero's still around.
To
I
be
can
honest
still
with
do
you-
it.
Not as big.
Angel, you've heard
Yeah.
him play guitar. He just should be a lead guitarist for some big rock band now.
Yeah,
That's what should have happened. Would have,
yeah,
should have, could
I
have.
don't know. Anyway, 16 million or 3 million. God, now
million.
you got me to do it. 16-year-old getting 3 million
Yeah.
for playing a video game.
Mhm.
So
That's a lot of money.
that's a lot of money. I would do it with a lot. You know what? He could buy like 80 million copies of Fortnite and Minecraft too.
Yeah.
So those are the two biggest like meme video games out there. But honestly,
Yeah.
probably one of the biggest grossing
Yeah.
games of all time being Minecraft.
Mhm.
What is this? I mean,
What is
honestly, like,
Minecraft, or what's the big?
well,
all
the
of a
big
sudden
deal,
rage
like
for
all of a
Minecraft?
sudden, it's crazy.
All of a sudden, it just came
So-
flying back. It used to be super
Yeah.
popular, and it kind of
Yeah.
died off again.
Probably
Right.
like 4 or 5 years ago, it was pretty popular, specifically on YouTube. A lot of people
Huge on
playing
YouTube.
that. Like the PC version of it, you could put mods
Right.
into the game and
Mhm.
change the
Yeah.
game completely of what it does. And even on console versions where it was just a regular vanilla Minecraft. And what's weird is that vanilla Minecraft has come back.
Vanilla
Yeah.
Minecraft.
Yeah, it's
That's
it's
just
the original
plain old
plain-
Minecraft, what
Yeah.
the developer has created and put
Yep.
out for everybody.
Instead of-
Minecraft
'cause-
1.0.
Yeah, well,
Or
I guess
whatever.
you could call
12
it that.
point something
Yeah,
is the
that's
newest
the version
update.
there. But honestly, they've because mods on and me myself being I like PC games a lot because you can do crazy
Yeah.
things to them. But honestly, like the want for not having mods in Minecraft
Yeah.
right now is crazy. But you can go to particular people's channels and see, they have pretty good views. You got your 100,000 views, your 200,000 views, which is great. And then they start posting Minecraft videos, in like a couple days, it's at
They're
couple
getting
million,
millions
3
of
million,
views.
4 million. And it's
I-
I watch them.
Yeah.
It's weird.
They're relaxing to watch.
Yeah.
Because it's something you
I
can
was-
just put on and not
was
have
actually-
to worry about.
I was actually only used the word mindless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mindless
just-
Minecraft.
I mean, I know there's-
Something to watch.
I know you make it do things, and you can make it
Yeah.
do all sorts of things.
Here's my
but
question: have you ever played it?
I've watched you play it.
You need to play
I've
it.
watched other people. I
Because
understand you can
there's
build
two-
engines, and there's all sorts of
Well,
things.
you can do that too.
Make it do all sorts
now
of
it's
things.
so different because there's two aspects in Minecraft. There's a survival mode where you can go in and you have to literally like start with cutting
Live
down a
off the
tree.
land.
You live off
Right.
the land and you start building your house and the tools that you
Mhm.
need, and then you literally go to these mines and get
Yeah.
gold
Right.
and
Coal and
iron, diamonds,
So
all this stuff. And-
So it's not a video game that you have to worry about somebody coming over the hill and
No.
taking you out while you're trying to survive. You're
No.
just literally. I understand the
I mean,
soothingness.
there's, like-
It's just
There's
basic.
bad guys in it, but it's zombies and skeletons.
Yeah,
and
it's
spiders.
NPCs, which is not somebody else, that's playing. Now you can do that in the game if you want.
Yeah.
So
But it's
think-
cool.
I think we're getting ready to go really deep on this version.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Why do you think it is that video game is calming to you?
Honestly, you don't have to think about it a lot. And that also is just almost a freedom thing. Open world games like that, whether be it Minecraft or an RPG game, it's just calming for some reason.
lets
but
you do
specifically Minecraft,
whatever
because of-
you want to.
Well, if you listen to the music in it, you
Yeah.
listen to all that. It's just calming. It's
Can
made
you
that way on
die in
purpose.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
You can die.
But you can have
Sure,
it set
but-
so you have an inventory, but you can have it set that if you die, you don't lose everything.
Right.
You can
So
also
then
set
it's
it
really
to where
like you can die and it doesn't
Okay.
really matter.
You can set it
So-
where you don't die either. I mean,
Yeah.
you can do
Okay.
that.
You can
but-
take out all of the bad
Yeah.
guys in it and just
Right.
exist.
Okay.
So-
I'm just wondering if maybe that's what it is. There's
You
not
should
a whole
try
lot
it.
of there's not a lot of tension in it. It's the
No.
thing I'm getting
I
at.
think it's honestly like, I know it's a video game and all, but honestly, I think it's kind of an anxiety cure.
Okay.
You know, it really
Well,
is, because it's kind of just, you sit down, there's really not,
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
if there's
not
really
a high
point.
stress game. Like with
There's- yeah.
Overwatch, it's a shooter game. You're with other people and it's
Right.
a high paced game.
Right.
Minecraft isn't like that.
You're going 90,000 miles an hour
Yeah.
every moment. You come home from work or school, you plug into the game that you spend the entire afternoon and evening blowing things up and trying to run from people, and your brain never shuts off.
Yeah.
Right. And
So I get
whereas
it.
with Minecraft, you should try it. I think you should legitimately
we
try
should do
it.
that for an after
but
the
there are times
podcast
that-
one time.
We
There are
should.
now that would be cool.
Yeah.
There are times at night after I get home from work that I don't need to unplug anymore. I would just simply go unconscious. So
That's fine. Sometimes
pretty
a
low
person
stress
needs
level
that.
situation right now.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
So-
But it's just one of
Yeah.
those things. Video games can be calming but stressful at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
All right.
yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. What was your? Is there a calming video game for somebody from your generation? That,
Not like you get somebody from my generation.
Yeah.
You're talking about somebody older than a millennial.
yes.
Yeah. Because I'm
What-
still trying to define myself.
Okay.
Am I an older generation Xer? I think I am.
Oh, are
Be-
you in between?
I'm in between.
So am I. I'm
Yeah,
in
you're right.
between millennials and
Generation, whoever the heck you call ourselves
Gen
next. Is it Z?
Z. I think they're Gen Zs, and I'm in between.
What's going to happen after that? We just go to Gen A and start over?
I guess so. I don't know.
We didn't have one before the baby
Who's
boomers
naming
that
these?
I knew of.
Can I
Your
ask that?
generation names them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
never
can't.
was a part of that.
Yeah,
you
nobody
were.
asked me.
Your generation was supposed to be. What were they were supposed to be? They were supposed to be Gen Z, weren't they, or were
What-
they Gen X?
I don't know.
They were
that's
supposed
the
to be
question.
something-
What's-
Jen,
yeah,
I
in
don't know what's
between
going
X
on
and-
most of the time.
There was one between X and millennial.
It was
Kinda.
supposed to be
That one.
his generation,
Yeah.
but they said they didn't want to follow with the alphabet theme,
Yeah.
and now you're a millennial.
I just don't. I don't know. It seems a little. I guess we won't go there.
Well, I think-
it's an eye roller. Like,
I think
come on.
you could take away all definitions and you could do it this way. Generations that were born and raised after we had what I would say common online internet connection
Mhm.
and smartphones.
Yeah.
Even and really the smartphones brought another
Yeah.
advancement in technology. It's more about the connection that you are with the world than it is how old or how young you are. So I think older people could fit in with millennials because of that, because of their habits is what I'm
Sure.
saying.
It's just, my generation, I don't feel. But at the same time, I see other generations of the older generations almost kind of becoming needing the technology thing. It's
because everybody
weird.
becomes dependent on it eventually.
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So necessary in
Yeah.
our society now.
You almost
so.
can't get away with
So
not having
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
What was the question? I forgot what you
And
asked
what's
me.
your calming thing, whether it be a video
Your
game
video
after work,
game.
or what did your generation? Because it seems like my generation a lot does the video game thing.
Yeah.
Was there something that was just, the thing to calm yourself after work or whatever, or what did everybody do? What's at the top of
Back
that
in
list?
my day?
No, stop.
It
Weirdo.
really depends on what part of my life. Are we talking about when I was a kid? Are we talking about when I was in college? Are we talking about as a young adult? Define it even
Probably
more,
in
because
between your teenage to young adult years,
In-
in
in-
that range.
in my life, a lot has happened. God, no matter what I'd say, it's going to sound like I'm old.
It's fine. Just go with it.
Honestly, what connected us as a generation was the TV,
Okay. Yeah. So
and it
that's
was
like
it was
thing.
the three big networks: ABC,
Yeah.
NBC, CBS.
So
that
technology
was,
was still kind of part of
it. Oh
that.
no, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
I wasn't born in
It
the
was
dark
kind of-
ages.
Well, no, but I don't know. I thought you were.
I
But-
was born and began work pre-internet.
Yes.
There's-
Okay.
I'm telling you, the internet drew a really huge line
Yeah.
in our society.
Right. Right.
and how you accessed information and the timeliness that you could access information to the point of Sunny Side Up's podcast, where we're able to do what we do in a studio and send it worldwide within a matter of hours. It still blows my mind.
Yeah.
It really does, and I'm amazed and thankful for that. Where if when I was in my early 20s, to do this would require a huge Hollywood studio, and put it on film still and distribute it physically via the mail system, which wasn't necessarily. I mean, they could do next day mail, but you were going to pay a ton for it.
Yeah.
We used to have a term 6 to 8 weeks delivery required, and that was legitimate. If you ordered something, you could even call a company and say, hey, I need you to send me. And they would say, okay, once your check gets here, we will send you that. And your check might take 3 or 4 days to get to them. Then they had to process it through manually. They didn't have a computer so by the time they got to the item, got it on a truck and sent it here, it literally was 2 months.
Yeah. And dude,
so there's just stuff
honestly,
like that.
But see, back then it was probably considered. I mean, that's kind of quick. You know what I mean? Sort of in your definition.
6 weeks was 6 to 8 weeks. It was the whole 6 to 8 weeks.
But now 6 to 8 weeks now is like, man,
forever.
we're waiting forever.
And
but the mail has
right.
evolved with us. You know.
Right. And so I think the commonality that held us together with the TV, and I think this is baby boomers and Generation Xers too. It was the world events that gave us the common thread. Whether it was a war, whether it was the moon landing, those moments. Whereas you all's generation, every single event, everywhere, all the time connects you, and I really think that's what's wrong or what's messed up.
Right.
You never ever get a chance to unplug ever.
Yeah.
And I could come home from school or work, and if I didn't turn on the TV, clueless, didn't have any idea at all what was going on anywhere.
Yeah.
Until
and
maybe
you know
the
what?
next day, maybe a 2 or 3 day period.
I wish that we kind of. I mean, you can have that here.
You
but
can choose to do that if you
Sure.
just don't check your social media every 15 seconds.
Yeah. And see, but that's the thing. Like with specifically, I don't know myself. I don't feel like a lot of my generation is this way, but I really catch myself not paying attention to news or things like that, and purposely almost because there's just 90% of it, almost 99% of it is just not great things. I don't want to know about it. But I have people that I work with that are strictly like they read the news and things like that. Like it's just what, and it's weird to me, I guess. I don't know if it's weird, but that me as the young guy, I don't care to watch it. I mean, I have I look it up. I have my take on it, but I don't really share it. It's just for me.
It could be because you're my child, and I'm not politically motivated. I'm not all that interested in all of the stuff. I care about people, I do, but probably pop culture was more important to me than political events, and so being drawn to a Sunny Side Up podcast scenario where we just sit around and we have fun and we talk about good stuff. That's just how I'm wired.
Yeah,
Angel, I don't know about you. I mean, I haven't known you that long to know what
I like
makes
to know
your
the
clock
news.
tick.
I
Yeah,
like
she
to
does.
be able to keep up with that kind of stuff.
yeah.
So,
We're so polar opposites on
Yeah.
some things.
It's okay.
But that's the thing. Like it's the joy of it, and I don't really. At the end of the day, I don't care. There is not less of a care I could give.
care, but
that about certain news stories. I'm not saying every one of them, but there are certain things that just seems unnecessary to
really go
report about.
deep. I had a guy tell me the other day. He said if we'd quit worrying about politics and events and stuff and social media postings and actually get out and care about each other, it would be a better place.
Oh, that's a crazy concept.
It's pretty deep. I mean, it really is,
Yeah.
and I think that it has nothing to do with technology. I don't think it has
No.
anything to do with
It's
how
people.
connected you are. It's about treating that other person really. And we go back to the Minecraft thing. I think that's part of it because in Minecraft, it's always I've seen you guys play it with other people or with. Everybody's encouraging. It's like, oh, cool. How'd you do that? Show me how you did that.
That's true. I haven't really seen.
You're
That's
chopping at a
hard to be
tree and nobody's
discouraging.
nobody's coming up behind you as you're chopping at that tree going, here, let me grab the axe out of your hand. Let me grab. They're not trying to cut. They're not trying to destroy you. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something to that. So,
I don't know. Well,
So-
hey,
I told you
Video
we were going to get
games.
deep.
well, hey, if you've got any suggestions, Sunny Side Up Podcast,
Mm-hmm.
storiesandscoopsmedia.com, at storiesandscoopsmedia.com for video game suggestions. But yeah, continue on. Let's do
You
this.
told me we may not even get to the next subject at all. You told me the other day that millennials don't communicate with email as much as other generations.
I believe so.
What
yeah.
do you communicate with?
Social media. For sure.
You
So you
DM
put-
each other
okay.
on Instagram
All
or
right.
on Twitter or something
Yeah.
like that.
So let's just provide a link on each podcast
yeah.
for people to connect to us,
Yep.
however we want to do
Easy
that.
enough.
We
do
can
it.
throw the email out, which is fine,
Sure.
but if nobody wants to do email, I'm just trying
I'm
to connect.
saying not
I'm just
anybody will,
I'm
but
just trying to be a part of
see
the
all
club,
my
man.
business
I'm-
stuff though, like say like with the
I
motocross
know what-
deal and things. I
yeah.
use my email a lot,
know
and
what
even
you
with
mean.
work deal.
Yeah.
But if I see that somebody's got an email that
Yep.
they actively use, and we actively use that. If you email us, we're going
Yep.
to
Right.
contact you back. But the same goes with our social media. So it's whatever you prefer.
So, next subject. This is along the same lines, the same thing. The American dream
Yeah.
via millennials versus generations before that. Now, before that, and this is just a survey, you tell me if it's right. When it comes to the American dream, traditionally, 46% of millennials say that includes owning your own home, financial security, having a steady job, and retirement support. But when it comes to the new American dream, 42% of millennials say it does include financial security and peace of mind, but it also includes feeling happy, focusing on wishes and needs. They believe that their parents achieved the traditional American dream, and we've talked about this. You guys think I've got the American dream figured out, and you're trying to figure it out.
I mean,
Or you think I achieved it,
well, yeah, in your own, but that's the thing.
but I didn't.
What is? But hold on.
But, okay,
I
go
think
ahead.
everybody's definition of the American
Yes.
dream is going to be
Okay.
completely
Exactly what I was
different.
gonna say.
It's going to be what you
Define
want
American
to
dream
have
for me.
yours.
Let's
is.
start with you, Angel. What's your idea of the American dream? Just straight up with no...
Like they said, the happiness
Mm-hmm.
and focusing on what I want and need. Owning a home would be nice. Renting
Okay.
kind of sucks. And having a steady job
Okay.
and finishing college.
And so that's all of those are a dream. You're on your way to all those right now, right?
Yep.
What about you, Brandon?
All the above on that. I mean, the renting deal doesn't bother me so much. I kind of like where we're at, sort of.
I mean, I like it.
Well, owning
Yeah.
home, obviously, that's what I want. But
Okay,
I mean,
but-
really, for me, my American dream, obviously having kids and stuff. But man, I want that. I want to be able to step out front of my house and have
Motocross. He's
well,
gotta
the
find somebody
motocross
to talk
track.
about it.
Okay,
get that.
but
That's-
but I want land. I want to be able
Okay.
to just have a peaceful place that I can just call home, and that there's not
So-
really a whole lot around.
So the millennial definition of American dream is be happy, be
Yeah.
loved, have some stuff, have a thing to put your stuff in.
Sure, but I don't need whammo blammo. Look at me,
I didn't say
ching
that.
ching. I don't know.
So-
well, that money, ching ching.
So I'm
I don't
thinking-
need that. I just want to be happy.
I'm pretty sure I'm a Gen Xer. I'm trying to define my, and I might very well be part millennial.
How about you're you?
Well, I know that, but my definition of the American dream when I was a little kid was to grow up, get married, have a job, have a family. Beyond
got
that,
all
I
that.
never went any further than that. I never had I didn't have any desire to. I don't know what other people did, but that was my definition of the American dream. So I don't think there's. I mean, you can throw statistics out there, but I don't think we're even that much different. Honestly,
Yeah.
did the screen go blank?
Yeah, of
behind
course.
me?
Our production screen here going blank. People on the
It's all
audio are
good.
so
Yeah,
confused.
The podcast people are going, what? My computer tried to die.
But I don't know. You're the whole definition of things is just
Mm-hmm.
again, it's kind of what you define it to be, and you know.
54% of millennials say they experience stress and anxiety due to financial pressure nearly every day.
Yes.
So do baby boomers.
Well, as
So
the
do
dude that
Generation
pays
Xers.
the bills, yeah,
No, you do.
It's sometimes
It is.
stressful, and that's the
It-
thing. I've never had to really experience that. It's weird, but you kind of learn, and it's not really a thing that someone sits you down and says. I mean, it is, but at the same time, you kind of just have to dive into it. So that's my suggestion for
Okay.
people my age that maybe, and it's okay to still live with your parents at 25, 26. It's dude, the economy is so crazy right now that it costs
It's hard to get out there.
$600 for like a single bedroom apartment or something.
Having grown, well, if you were in New York or LA, you'd be dying right now.
Yeah,
because it's way
that's why
more
I'm in
than
Oklahoma.
that. But having grown up in a scenario where you were always able to see what everybody else in the world had, has that made your anxiety worse? Knowing that there are other people out there that have, and by home, is it a 2-bedroom, 1 bath? Is it a 8-bedroom, 6-bath, gigantic castle with 5 garages in it? I mean, what's the home look like?
Home for me, I don't know. In my definition of a home, probably just like maybe a couple stories.
Okay.
The whole wraparound porch concept that Angel like is pretty cool, but I don't need something crazy.
In the South.
Yeah, that's what
He
I
wants
want.
a country house.
I want
I
a
got
country
you.
house.
All right.
That's my definition. And is it doable? Yeah, sure, it's doable. I don't need a mansion. I don't need any of that.
I just want a house that's a good enough size to raise a family in.
Yeah, that's it, really.
I'm telling you,
Simple.
we're not that different.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like,
It's all good.
I think this is. I'll blame this one on social media of having us seem like we're different. I don't think we are at all. Who says that we're fighting each other? We're have
not
to be different.
But
we're not.
When I was in my mid-20s, early to mid-20s, they had the term generation gap. We don't throw that around at all. I never hear the term generation gap. But the difference between the baby boomers and the just right there behind them, where baby boomers were the parents, their children. There was the generation gap, and a lot of those children ended up being the hippie generation of the early 70s. Well, I was too young to be a part of that, but I was too old to be a part of the Generation X, so I'm lost.
Yeah, that's how I am.
But I still think that I agree with you, Brandon. I don't think there's any difference between the generations because at the end of the day, and here's the warm and fuzzy moment of Sunny Side Up podcast today. At the end of the day, we all want to feel when we close our eyes at night that we're loved.
There it is.
That's it.
Theme of
you
the
just
episode.
want somebody that gives a crap about you, and you want to know when you close your eyes that tomorrow when you wake up, they're going to be there for you.
Your
It's
dog
that
in Minecraft
simple.
will be there for you when you wake up in the morning.
Ready to go right back to Minecraft.
Oh, man. Well,
dude.
This is fun.
Yeah.
So, hey, any suggestions? If you have any advice for us that you want to give, again, if you use email, sunnyside-up-podcast@storiesandscoopsmedia.com. On our social media, Instagram, just search Sunny Side Up Podcast. On Facebook, search Sunny Side Up. All the logos are the same, so we're pretty easy to find. So find us there, message us, and we'll be there. Whatever.
One last thought: 74% of American millennials think it's impossible to achieve the American dream.
Not true. I think if you work hard enough, you've got to be willing to work.
It's always been
It's hard, but you have to be willing to work.
Absolutely.
Yep.
He's not a millennial at all.
I don't consider myself
He's the
at all.
freaking baby boomer right over there.
I guess so.
I'm just saying.
Maybe.
All right.
We'll see you next episode. Episode
Yep.
number 5 coming up next week.
Have a blessed week. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Welcome to the After the Podcast show here on Sunny Side Up, exclusive to YouTube. So, hello everybody watching the video.
Oh, now I got to look at the camera all the time because we're on video.
Yeah, well, welcome to them. They're here with us today.
Wow.
So, I guess continuing on the generation stuff from the podcast, it was a good episode 4, I would say. So,
Yeah.
we can keep it going, I guess, for a little bit here,
All right.
just exclusively for our YouTube people.
So let's see. What's the coolest thing that's happened in your life technology-wise?
Oh gosh.
What's the absolute just baddest thing?
Man, I don't know.
The creation of Tesla. The self-driving cars.
The self-driving car.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
That's
I thought you
something
meant
we've
like
never seen
So not a
before.
personal thing, just like something that
well,
is
I
just
don't
on
know.
general.
I don't know. That was just a general question, just something to start it.
I wish I had a Tesla.
Because I was stuck. I didn't know what to ask.
I don't know. I mean, Tesla is pretty cool. I think, honestly, the whole, what you call it, Google Lens and stuff like that, where it's holograms.
It puts you into the game.
It puts you into, well, not just that,
Not
but
game,
like
but like-
specifically like putting stuff into the world.
Yeah, these are
Where
for
people-
education purposes.
Yeah,
To show you
for
the actual
education
size
purposes.
of like a whale.
But I mean, that could be dangerous. But I mean,
It's a hologram. It's not
it's
dangerous.
a hologram. Yeah, holograms. It's yeah. So those kind of things.
Okay.
I think that's kind of. I mean, that's pretty cool that they've come so far. I mean, you can do it with your phone, really, but it's kind of. I guess I'd call it janky a little bit.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of shaky and things like that. But I've seen the Google Lens before, and I don't think it quite took off as much as I wished it
should
would
have.
Yeah.
And maybe a little too early, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, and VR is also another thing that was pretty cool. Where I guess that's the next generation of gaming. I mean, that's what it's going to come to.
Yeah.
So
What's the? I'm trying to think of the term. I can't remember. What's the term where they're taking people's faces and putting them over the top of other people's faces to the point that the computers. What's it called? Extreme? No,
I don't know.
I can't remember the term on video, where you can take the picture
Overlaying?
of. Well, yeah, but extreme such to the point that you can't hardly tell that it's not
that's
the person. I
know
can't
what
think
you're
of the
talking
term.
about, but
What is it?
I have no idea.
That's
Golly.
crazy. That is, I mean, it's crazy. I wouldn't. That's more like a program.
I can't remember the name of the. It's not extreme video. Yeah.
It's something you'll think of it. But
I'll tell you, for me, the smartest thing so far, these things right here.
that's
where
your
I
best
can-
invention.
Well, it kind of goes along with the same thing, but it's not just a phone; it's an adventure.
It does everything.
Yeah. So, like, I could go in here and I could go videos.
Every episode he's got a.
But
get out his
video.
phone. Every episode, it's not. We're 4 in, and he's
That
still every episode is
looks
somehow
Real.
video
about
that,
that?
looks real. So you're gonna look
video
it
that
up.
looks. No, that's not. What is it called?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Everybody out there is going. I
It's
know what
this.
you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. So
Earliest technological advancement thing you all remember.
Earliest.
Yeah. What's the first thing? Where does your brain kind of start?
I mean, I remember dial-up.
Okay.
My parents had
Dial-up
it.
modem internet.
yeah, I remember.
But they also didn't want to pay for it, so they would just
Yeah.
use the trial discs every time.
Oh.
I
They
remember
would just get a
sitting.
new trial disc.
Cheated the system.
Yes.
Yeah,
So your parents are criminals. Called them out on the web.
I remember sitting in this very room that we're in right now, getting onto the computer and talking on MSN Messenger and AOL Messenger. I remember that. That was my very first thing, and it was dial-up. But I remember a time kind of before that. I guess my very first experience with sort of technology is the Game Boy.
Yeah.
You know, that
Okay.
was Pokemon. That was my stuff. Still is. I mean, but you know, that was really kind of my first dive into things. I was pretty young. I think it was a hand-me-down Game Boy, the very first one before color came out,
Yeah.
and it was Pokemon Red is what I played, and that is the original
Okay.
cool, I guess, thing for technology for 90s babies, really. So, but that's what I really remember.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched my dad play video games because he had a PlayStation, and
Yeah.
I loved watching it. My favorite game, I don't remember what they said, was a fighting game, like a wrestling game that I loved to watch.
Yeah.
But I
One
also
of the
loved.
boxer one was it? Was it Joe
I can't
Boxer? What the
remember.
heck the name of that?
No, it
Or
wasn't. It wasn't.
Mighty Blow.
It wasn't
Mighty Blow.
I
Nintendo.
think I also really liked to watch the Resident Evil game
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
play
cool.
that
Yeah.
game.
Yep. Those remakes are really cool. But yeah, so I mean,
Okay.
I guess that's kind of my earliest thing. So I don't know. What's yours? I mean, what do you?
Really going to date myself big time on this episode,
That's
but I
fine.
don't
Just
care.
go
It's
for it.
fine. In the time I've been in radio and broadcasting and I got a degree in radio, television, and film forever ago, when I first started that major in the early 80s, MTV took the airwaves.
Yeah.
Cable television was just getting started in that they actually were looking at different channels. At that point, I remember sitting in a cable. I literally went to a college-level course on cable antenna television.
That is
Cable antenna
awesome.
TV was when they had a broadcast station, like your big three at the time, because the other 4 and 5 other networks weren't there yet. So you had ABC, NBC, CBS, broadcast from a place, and then a local community down the road that couldn't quite pick up those broadcasts would put up their own antenna, and then they would run a cable system to the rest of their town. So they have like a tower with an antenna picking up over-the-air broadcasts and running the antenna cabling to each home. And on top of that, because they had a cabling office, they had to have some kind of local access channel by the FCCs, and every single little bitty town not even little town. Every mid-sized town in America in the early 80s had the Fish Tank channel. The
Fish Tank channel.
The Fish Tank channel had fish. They were literally broadcasting over their cable system a fish tank.
So it's kind of like today's fire or like fireplace that
yes,
you can get on
yes,
the
like the
channels.
fireplace
Yeah.
channel. During,
Yeah.
But
Put it
it
on
had a
during
clock.
Christmas.
They would always have a clock right there, like a clock. So you could see what time it was, and that was the local cable access TV for a lot of.
It moved
but-
around and stuff,
but
right? Like
that's-
the fish moved around.
Well, yeah, it
'Cause
was
I
a
think
live
TV's
fish. It was a
kinda-
live TV shot. It was
Oh.
live. It was actually
burn
live
an image of a
on that
fish
channel.
tank
Yeah,
in your-
absolutely. But
Yeah.
but on that channel, that was the local. Because by law, I think it's still there. You have to, if you have a cable channel, you have to have local access on your cable.
Yeah.
But that was college, man. I wasn't that much. I was about the same age as Angel is at that point.
Yeah.
So you got to go back in time even further. My biggest the biggest memory in junior high was when we finally got rid of the party line telephone. Corded phone that was connected to people around your neighborhood that were all on the same, not prefix, but the same exchange. Because there was one line
Man.
coming into the neighborhood and you all had to share the line.
Yeah.
Even you had separate phone numbers, and the phone rang differently in each house. Like there was a ring ring or a ring 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 ring, and and you knew your ring, so you'd pick it up. But the thing is, it rang everywhere. So every nosy neighbor in the neighborhood, everybody picked up the phone, and you knew there were like 5 people sitting here listening to you all the time.
Wow.
When we got rid of that,
Greatest invention ever.
God bless my neighbors growing up. You know who you are. But one of my neighbors had, I was like 10, and they had 3 teenage girls. I never got to use the phone. I pick up the phone going, really? Again?
Yeah.
Just go out with the guy.
But
you know?
don't lie, you sat there and listened.
No, I didn't. I'd sit there
come
and I would just go, are you guys done yet? Hey, it's Alan. Can I use the phone? Can you guys hang up? And you had to wait for everybody to hang up before you could call. It was terrible.
Oh, no.
And you had to
So-
try to jump on before somebody else decided
Right,
to call.
and so the ending of the party line was a huge monumental thing when I was a kid. When I was like maybe 6th grade, something where.
Yeah.
But my very first, you guys are talking about your first recollection of technology. This was huge. The moon missions, which by the way, do you realize Sunny Side Up launched the same week as the 50th anniversary of Apollo 11?
Very nice.
It was the day before, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I think that's just that's one of those things we can draw a line and say and go and look at that. The moon missions, all of the world events, everything were in black and white because we had a black and white TV, and it didn't have there was no push button thing. You had to get up off your butt and change the dial with a rotary dial changer.
Yeah.
But my grandparents had the very first color TV in our part of the county.
How much did that cost?
Well, it was expensive.
Of course.
And it didn't have a rotary button. It had a push button.
Oh.
Okay? So it's high tech. So
You're getting...
we invented like a stick. We had our very first remote control by
Yeah.
sitting on the couch poking it with a stick. But
I like it.
we got to see Bonanza, the old Western, which
Yeah.
was one of the very first color TV programs ever.
Mm-hmm.
We got to watch it in color. And I remember people coming to my grandparents' house. I was little. I was a little bitty squirt.
Yeah.
Watching color TV and thought it was amazing.
You're freaking out. That is awesome. And it's
Yeah.
the quality of it, honestly, if you look back on it, it's probably just so
No,
bad.
it wasn't so bad. It was broadcast, but it was what we would term it was broadcast quality, over the air quality, the same quality that we had right up until we went into high def
Digital.
technologies.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been that long that
Mhm.
really when
And
we
see,
went
you
high
know-
def, and there's lines per inch and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
What's crazy is that, like our TVs these days, I just recently purchased my first 4K TV,
yeah.
and I
And
can't
they're about
even,
to come out with the next gen of them.
I can't even tell. Like, we go to Best Buy to buy this TV, and by the way,
Now-
shout out to the folks at Stillwater Best Buy. Those guys are really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But not sponsored, but just saying, if you
That's
need a
just a
TV,
free
go see 'em.
plug. Yeah.
So hey guys, if you're listening for some reason, I
Mhm.
hope so. But anyways, there you go in there, and I'm looking at this new 8K
Mm-hmm.
TV. I think it's 8K.
It was the first one.
Oh my gosh! I
So-
don't even. It's to the point when do your brains cut off? Like,
Well, when
Yeah.
we first got our TV, it gave me headaches.
Yeah.
Because it was
Yeah.
so much.
oh yeah, that 4K
It
is
made me
nuts. And we had the
dizzy.
next generation of 4K that we got because I guess there's the first generation
Mhm.
4K,
Yeah.
which I think is what you guys got.
Yeah.
and then we got that
They
next
revamped
generation
it.
one right before they came
Right.
out with 8K.
Yeah.
And
So,
oh my gosh,
So
video games look so good.
the Apollo. Let's go back to Apollo 11 real quick.
Okay.
The Apollo 11 moon mission was shot in color
4K.
on. It wasn't 4K, but
That'd be
it's the
pretty cool,
same
though.
quality as high def. It was
Back
shot.
then?
Yeah, because it wasn't 8mm film. It was shot on color. What is it? 16, 32 mil. It was huge. It
Yeah.
was huge film, and NASA had that. They've had it forever in storage, but because nobody could see it in color,
There
they
was no point
broadcast. It
using
was
it.
broadcast. It was actually broadcast in color, but you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
That I don't know if you saw the Apollo 11 specials that were on a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
All the color stuff and how high def it looked.
Mhm.
That's actual original footage. That's not remastered
And
anything.
see, it doesn't. What's
Now-
crazy is that it looked because I
It-
saw it and it
yeah.
looks. It doesn't
It
look
looks
like
high-
HD, but it looks.
high
Pretty
def.
It looks like it should.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe
Like
a few
high,
years old.
high
yeah.
okay. They had that in the 1960s.
Oh, that tells you everything right there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
What do they got now?
No conspiracy theories here. You just got to wonder.
This is what people are
What's-
looking for in Area 51.
I know, and I'm not. I
They're trying to find
no.
the TV technology.
if you, if
They're
you
not
had
giving
it,
out
if you had it
to
at
us.
Area 51, I suggest you do the Bermuda Triangle thing. It's a lot better. It's
Yeah.
got a lot more water there.
Stay
And-
refreshed.
And you're goofy
Go
enough
to
to
the
try
Bermuda
it. I
Triangle.
say swim in the middle of it. I'm just saying if you're going to.
I love it. What kind of memes that has spawned.
So anyway,
But yeah, I know it's just it seems like at what point
well,
does it get to we're gonna look back whenever I'm in my 60s 70s going. Back in my day, we had 4K.
No, I think
now
it'll
it's
be-
136,825K.
I think it's going to be a lot quicker than that. I think technology is about to explode. I think before Sunny Side Up
Well-
podcast has had its run, this technology we're using now will have completely
It's
changed,
obsolete.
and we'll be
promise you.
we'll be at
Yep.
least in 4K. We'll be live. We'll be streaming it.
Yeah,
We'll be podcasting it over a platform we haven't even thought of yet.
sure.
We'll probably
And
be in
see,
3D.
That's what's crazy to me is just like. At what point does it hit that we can't comprehend it anymore? There has to be that point.
Then
Then they're going to
honestly,
start updating our brains.
Guys,
Ooh.
we've been saying that since the early '80s. I was telling you about cable antenna TV. The guys that came up with MTV also came up. Turner Network Television. Ted Turner came up with a whole bunch of ideas at the time, including taking the top of the hour break at 5 after. They still do that. I don't know if you realize that or not. So
Yeah.
they get a different viewing audience. They had two ideas that I thought were ridiculous. I remember sitting in class going, this is the stupidest thing you could ever come up with. They were thinking about an all-sports channel, a 24-hour-a-day sports channel. It was
Just
nothing
for
but
sports.
sports. I'm like, there's not enough sports in the world to sit around and talk about. Now we can call it Entertainment Sports Network. Let's do that.
Oh man!
And then there was
Don't you
another
wish you would have
one.
jumped on board
There
with
was
that
another
idea?
one
Yeah.
that, to this day, I still think it was a goofy idea, but it kind of worked, even though it's still goofy. Let's have a channel where somebody who needs to know what the temperature is can turn it on and see what the temperature is and and we'll call it the Weather Channel.
Okay, look,
and I
but
remember
see
saying that will never work.
But that right there, now it's starting to where it's like that's almost going to become obsolete as a,
sure.
as a TV channel.
right.
Yeah.
You just pull it up on
Well,
your phone.
it's more for
Well,
just news now.
But the point
sure,
is,
but the specific weather
you're watching,
channels.
But
Yeah.
you're watching a channel that's been around since 1983, 84.
Yeah,
It's
it's had
antiquated.
its run, but
and it's still
it'll
cutting
keep
edge.
Going.
Sure, it's
but
got
it'll
its
keep
place.
going with its. It will evolve.
But we've
to the
been,
next thing.
but every single conversation we've had in the last 40 years has started with, well, I just don't know how much more they can offer. I mean, my brain is full. It just keeps getting more
It'll keep going.
complicated. And at the point that you step off and go, I'm done, that's when you start getting old. Seriously.
I think we
Yeah.
also greatly underestimate how much our brains can actually
right.
handle
Yeah.
and what it can actually comprehend.
It's true.
We don't access most of our brain.
Yeah.
So we don't really know.
We could keep going with it. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we'll check it out. But
That's too deep for me.
very deep. But Well, hey,
Yep.
this has been After the Podcast. So we appreciate you guys on YouTube sticking around.
Anybody else got a headache after that conversation?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But as we said in the normal podcast, if you want to email us, if you use your email, sunnyside-up-podcast at storiesandscoopsmedia.com.
Yep.
Or find us on Instagram, Sunnyside Up Podcast. You can find that logo right there.
That logo.
Also on Facebook, again, Sunnyside Up, finding that logo behind us. That's what all of our social medias
Yep.
have. So
iHeartMedia, Podbean, you name it, we're out there on your Google podcast, also on iPhone podcast, all the platforms there
All
are.
major platforms.
Yeah.
Yep. And hey, while you're at it, share this with somebody.
Please.
Show this to somebody that needs an uplifting podcast and get rid of all the cruddy stuff that seems to be going around.
Yeah.
We're here to lift you up and talk some fun. So,
There
but
it
hey,
is.
this has been fun. The Sunny Side Up Podcast. After the podcast, thank you to our YouTube people. So, yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.